Ay, ay, ay. That talk. That talk.
That was iffy.
Hey, I was, that
I,
was,
I watched that game in peace, like nothing around me, and I was like,
it was looking bad. It was looking
yeah,
bad until it didn't. All right, we're getting ready for this. You have,
let's do it.
you have a lot to atone for this episode, all right? So let's go for it. Ready?
Let's do it.
Oh yeah!
He's trying me! How you trying me? That's a touchdown. Ooh! Bucket, baby!
Hi, and welcome to DD Live. I'm your host, the one and only Angel Camacho, and joined by my esteemed colleague here, the love of my life, Jose. I can't see you, Perra Guerra.
What's up, Pep?
Man, you missed me, huh? You wanted to act
To
a
say,
fool. You wanted to act a fool the week I wasn't here. You misbehaved. You misbehaved. You waited till I was out of
say
here,
the least.
and you had to go misbehave. Me picking you, you playing like that. Man, you have a lot to atone for.
Yeah, I do. I
What
do.
happened?
I mean, man, it sucks, right?
Before you get there, before you get there, everyone I asked, it was like, I don't know what's wrong with that team. Every time I look at that field, it's like Perra dot, drop ball. That's what it sort of felt. That's the synopsis I got for your week two. Now you tell me.
Listen, man. At the end of the day, we couldn't get any other dubs. I felt like we were obviously in every single game, losing 4-3, 4-3, and I think 4-2 to Peaky. Uh, just, big misplays, whether it would be, a bad throw on a third down or a drop pass or a failed defensive conversion on a third and long. We played good first and second down, and then on third down we just I don't know. I don't know. It was tough. It was pretty frustrating. And it sucks, man, because I really did have high hopes for the team. I obviously, love the team that I drafted, and I loved. I knew it was gonna be like that with A2, but man, I absolutely love playing with A2. His energy is something, it's very reminiscent of Ernie's energy, which is, I've been always, very vocal about the fact that I'm not the raw guy, especially when I'm playing. I'll do this all day. I'll go back and forth, but while we're playing, I'm really not gonna talk much. I like to kind of stay even keel, maybe too quiet. And I love that about A2, man. His energy was big for us. But I don't know. I don't know if it was like I said, it was just if it always felt like we would make some sort of mistake, on a big third down somewhere.
And so now talk to me about the change you made.
I mean, listen, I could have technically drafted AJ, instead of Mark. I had obviously had the opportunity with the third pick. I went with someone that I, have played with before. I've obviously played with both of them a fair amount. I just went with Mark because I felt like we had a little bit more chemistry. And when we had played together, at least in DD, it definitely wasn't a good thing for us. I think we were the number one ranked team or something like that, and we ended up going 0-3 in the playoffs as well. So just kind of wanted to see if we can make something of it. And I don't know, man. It just again, I really wouldn't even say it was on one person specifically. I think the energy was there.
Well, the score is indicative. Like Cowboys, you lost 4-3. Raiders, you lost 4-3, and Bengals 4-2. By no, it wasn't a 4-1, but
Yeah,
kind
yeah,
of seems that the games escaped you.
yeah. I think for us it was just it would always come down to I felt like a critical stop here and there, and I just felt like we weren't able. to ever get it. And it's just, it is what it is. Obviously, AJ and Mark are very, very similar players. And although I love A2's energy, you're not going to tell me that, statistically or, I guess the eye test, Izzy's not a better player, so to speak, than A2, with his speed, his agility. And now I become the bona fide tier 6. I've always
I think though AJ would have been better suited to go to Worlds with me. He would have done a whole lot more than what he did in week 2. Because oh my god, out of a week, how they going to do my boy like that?
I
How they going to
listen.
do my boy like that? Back to back crowning MVPs, and then Dario can't hit the PCP baby. I don't get it. Because that's another question mark. Because there's so many question marks there where you feel like, all right, he's got the arm strength.
But I felt like, especially in our game, the first game they played, we were refereeing right next to them, and obviously, every once in a while you take a peek. A lot of his throws, like you said, Dario has the arm, but it just felt like a lot of his throws, he was just like putting too much air under it, and his guys were open initially, but because of the amount of air he was putting in it, were
being able to catch up. Instead of putting it on a rope, you're just hanging it.
Yeah. So I felt like that, could have been, but it was also just like again, when we played them, that we were obviously able to see it firsthand. It was just they weren't gelling for whatever the reason.
Okay. What else could we say about week 2? Polty goes down.
Yeah, man, I didn't see it. Obviously, very unfortunate.
How bad?
See, I don't know. Obviously, I'm hearing rumblings. I know he had an MRI, and I'm hearing rumblings that it might not be too good, or at least the initial, on the field doctors that we have said that it didn't really look too good. But we'll see. We'll see. I think it was the knee. Yeah, I think it was the knee. So, I mean, we'll see, man. Obviously, it sucked. I will give them props. I'm not saying once Poti went down, but once Poti went down, man, those 4 guys played with a lot of heart, a lot of energy. A2 played for them in one of the games that I think their last game. And, Jose and
beat the Giants 3-2. They then almost lose to they almost beat the Niners. They lose 4-3. And then it kind of seems what they got hurt against and then they beat the Ravens 4-2. So they had a
I think Jose, I don't know if it was Jose or maybe Javi. I think they had a pick 6, or it might have been one each. I don't know, but they were playing really good, man. I think it just happens. You get the adrenaline rush, but they play really good. So props to them, and props a little bit of patting myself in the back. I picked the Commanders or the Washington football team, as my bold prediction going 3-0, and they went out and did it.
This show like just bleeds excellence in those pick'ems, man, in those bold predictions. What a 3! But
I gotta win something.
We were talking about the Commanders in the previous episode, and those are one of the teams that we were saying, don't make a trade, just thug it out and figure it out. There's too many good players on that team. For as much as you want to knock on Chris, he's the rah guy. He's the guy with the pizzazz on the field, and he's always going to have something to say, and then that's going to rub people the wrong way. But within the confines of football, that's the kind of guy you want to play football with. And then you add, you add all the other guys that he has on his team. Then they were just missing Nico. They needed that party animal.
No, and exactly. I feel like they needed someone to be like, hey, Mikey, you're no longer your services of being the party guy, throwing up are no longer needed.
I do that.
Nico's here.
Nico's
here. I don't throw up, but I'll do the partying for the team.
100%.
And
there's the kid throwing up. I don't think he knows what a hangover is. His liver's different.
That guy, yeah.
They'll do case studies. They'll do case studies on that body post-mortem. Nico, it's for you, man.
He's special. He's definitely special.
Talk to me about the Lions, because you look up and down. They beat the Saints. They beat the Chargers. Ant Hernandez has beautiful hair. Tell me.
I can't say much, honestly. I think I saw their game, out of the corner of my eye against the Chargers. That was
they did lose to the Seahawks 4-3. So as much crap we want to give Stritz, the guy gets the dubs. I don't know if it's him or Craigo. I wasn't here for week 2, but
hey, that's another team that I haven't been able to watch. So
they're getting it done. They're getting it done.
I mean, 5-1, no, I think.
Yeah. Here, 5-1, 15 points. They trail the Chiefs by 1 point.
Yeah. So
Game.
one way or another, they're getting something done. And I know they had a cupcake schedule, but they beat the team that they were,
You got
the
to beat
quote
the
unquote.
teams that are in front of you, man. You're
Exactly.
going to have hard weeks, and then you're going to have easy weeks,
Yeah.
and then you got to make
So
sure that you're consistent throughout.
yeah. I mean, I again, I haven't really seen much of the Lions, so I can't really speak to them on them too much. But we'll see this week. I mean, I don't play him again, so I would imagine I'm probably gonna play him week 4 or something. But we'll see. Hopefully, maybe we get to referee one of their games, and we go from there. Because as of right now, I would say those are. I mean, shoot, the Ravens are in that, the Seahawks, the Lions. Um, I mean, the Dolphins I referee, so I've seen them. But I think those are the 3 teams that I truly have no idea what they look like.
What's going on in Finn's cap? Because we know in reality, Tua, is the system. But what's up with David?
I don't,
I won't return my calls or messages, so I need the insight from you.
man. I think I'm gonna go out on a limb here. It's not just David. It's a lot of those top 4 or 5 caps, whatever they were. They're handcuffed a lot, man. They're handcuffed really bad, in my opinion, from what I've seen so far. From besides, my team, the bottom 4 teams or the bottom 2 teams in each division, I think are bottom 5 caps. The Giants are 1-5.
That's
The
another one.
Dolphins.
That's another one. The Giants lose 3-2 to the Vikings, lose 4-2 to the Niners, which is appalling. And then they're able to beat the Cowboys. So they go 1-2. So you got Chris D.
I know they were missing
Not
Pookie or
not too
Pookie.
far.
Is it Pookie or Mookie? I think it's Mookie.
Mookie.
Yeah, yeah. They were missing Mookie, I think, for sure the first game. I want to say maybe the second game as well. So you know, that's obviously always a big thing. People really don't. I guess the people that don't know, they really don't think even if you're missing like your tier 6, it matters because now you're no longer having to rotate. The other team no longer has to rotate, so you don't have to adjust mid game. Your best players are on the field, and it sounds great and dandy, but that's the neat thing about the D. The rotations really affect the game and how you strategize around the substitutions when
And how
both teams.
disrespectfully hot it is.
It wasn't. I don't think it was that hot. Week 2, I like that park. Besides the freaking 18-hour drive,
How's the parking situation? Because I need to know because it depends.
you gotta get there. You gotta get there early. You gotta
So
get
are we
there
parking
early.
on the gravel? Is there a handicap spot?
I don't think so.
So it's all like park on the side of the road?
Yeah, it's like
This is
is it
important.
Continental?
I'm not kidding. This is
No,
important.
no, I know, but is it
Depends what
no?
car
It's,
you
it's
take.
like Colonial. It's like Colonial.
Oh,
The
so
regular.
park on the side. Okay.
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah, on the side.
Man,
Yeah.
I really wanted to take out the GTR this week because when I hear about an hour-long drive, I'm thinking flying down the turnpike.
Yeah, no, you're
There's
not
no
doing
way I'm
that.
parking that car. There's no way I'm parking that car on the ground.
But no, there's grass. There's grass. There's no gravel. At least where I parked, there was no gravel. It's like on the side of the school, so there's a lot of grass. Hey, I don't got the car. Don't look at me like that. Like you don't do
Oh
something.
man, I'm kind of, I'm iffy. Not knowing what car I'm gonna take on Saturday, it's giving me anxiety. I already have my uniform laid out. I'm ready to go. I have my whole outfit going. I'm wearing shorts. I'm wearing one sleeve on my legs. I'm showing leg on one side and sleeve on the other. Yeah, I'm gonna go a little swaggy. I'm feeling myself this week. I'm
Okay.
I'll make up for missing week 2. I gotta remind everybody again that week 1 wasn't a fluke.
Wasn't a fluke.
And I gotta save the Raiders. I gotta get us above 500 because this is nonsense. Al's struggling without me. Now, last topic that I wanted to touch on this recap. Talk to me about Peaky. Because it's the up and down. He beats the Raiders, loses to the Ravens, beats you, so he only beats the weak teams, doesn't beat the strong teams.
I can now talk, about them. I played them. It was a good game. They're just, I'm not gonna say they suck because they obviously don't suck, and they're not what I would consider maybe necessarily like an upper echelon team in terms of top to bottom. Man, they got that dude, bro. It's Peaky, doing what he does, and Lugo's a great pick, and Ham for whatever reason, again he kind of gets a bad rap for whatever reason, but he's a dog, and It almost feels like he loves playing for Peaky because Peaky be playing those psychological warfare, whatever how you
Throws
pronounce it.
bombs and
Yeah,
throws bombs, and we know Ham loves bombs.
yeah. So that's it's a good team, man. Just the whole team rounds out pretty well. We really weren't able to do much.
Bengals are in second spot, because
I
they were
think
in the bottom of all the rankings, but in the
I
North,
think that
they're
speaks a
right
little bit
behind the
more.
Saints.
I would say that speaks a little bit more to the fact that our conference, in my opinion,
Trash.
is the shittier conference. Yeah, 100%. I mean, dude, I'm 0-6, and I think I'm what 2 games out of the playoffs.
Yeah, the playoffs is 2 wins.
So, and I'm 0-6, and for all the people that are not watching our games and just go by stats for whatever reason, it looks like I'm playing like shit or we're playing like shit. I wouldn't say that. I just think we're not getting the stops when we need to. We're playing really well on offense. We're moving the ball. Sure, can we play a little bit better or can we play better? Yeah, of course, you can always play better, but we're scoring and we're just missing big plays. We're missing big plays. That's all it is.
Now, if it was any other captain, if it was any other player, because when in seasons past, if it's Jordan, if it's another cap that they have that rap that they miss, they get lynched. If it's a NAS player, he gets lynched.
Yep.
How can Nico get that pass? Holy hell, the Eagles 4-1 to the Seahawks, 0-4 to the Finns, and lose to the Raiders. Big squadoosh, 0-3.
Well, he drafted his boy in Dolan. Hulk is not toxic, but he definitely very damn well can be toxic. But he knows he has, what I would say is the best quarterback in flag, or the best quarterback in DD on his team. And especially for DD purpose, right? Or for the DD style, he definitely has the best quarterback with the ability to play defense and lead a team on defense. So it's almost like, why would you trade him? Like, what value? It's almost like trading a Peaky or even trading, a Joe on right now. What are you really going to get back to really say to yourself, oh, we won that trade? Because you're going to drop off a lot in quarterback. But where are you going to significantly gain elsewhere that you're going to be like, okay, we'll be okay?
No, yeah, you roll the dice with Nico.
So, and then Lewis is missing a week. Look, but think about it. His boys
it's the right division to do it. It's the right division to do it. He went 2-1.
And Lewis is missing week 4. That's why he got traded. So Lewis can't trade Nico.
But the argument behind the trade, it makes sense because yes, they lost Byron, but at the end of the day, now what you end up doing is you have Peter, you have Nico, and you have Brian out on defense. So you don't have muertos in coverage.
No, and Dolan is pretty good. Is Justin, right?
Justin Johnson, yeah.
Justin is pretty good as well.
It's another solid
guy. And Hulk can move. It's not like you have I don't know.
He's a star winner. He's a star winner. He knows what it is.
So I still think he possibly could have potentially done a little better. I know that him and I were in talks. I told him, like, brother, I can't take on a player that's missing another week. Like, I'm 0-6. I can't right now.
You and Luis Fernandez again? Like, come on. We already saw that show last season.
So, but he was gonna miss, and again, like, I just don't think there was enough value there to possibly say I'm gonna trade Nico.
But I like the trade though, given the circumstances, given the conference. Really, that's I think there's gonna be some ground making. I think the Jets have to start to win games. I see this is where the Cowboys take a dip. Eagles jump them this week. The Redskins pad the distance between them and the Cowboys. And then let's see what the Chargers and the Niners do, because that's another enigma there. Because there's a lot of question marks on the Chargers camp, a lot of question marks on the 49ers camp. You don't know what you're going to get in there.
Yeah.
Week you got toxicity. The next week you got productivity, and vice versa.
Yeah, I mean, again, like you said, I think our conference is the one to be in if we're being real. 'Cause, our conference is not very good right now. So,
Okay. So that's sort of like a state of the union, a state of week two. I feel like I understand everything that's going on, and now we could get going with our show. And we have some good content for you this week because we have a special guest that's going to be joining us for the remainder of the show. And he's a fan favorite, a league favorite, and one of the good guys. We can't say that about all the guys in DD, but without much ado, I would like to introduce our special guest of the week.
What do you want from me, bro? You guys restrict me here.
No,
You guys,
no,
you mute me. No. It's all good, baby. I'm here. I finally made it, bro. Wow.
finally made it. How many seasons, Devin? How many seasons and you finally made it?
Like
So much
6 or
to
7.
unwind here. How do you feel?
I know.
Talk to us.
Oh my God. Amazing. What an honor to be on the best show by far.
Oh, wow. Please tell me more.
oh,
No, yeah, it's not even close. The production. I mean, if people don't vote for you, it's because they're hating, bro. Let's be honest.
Hey, listen, if we're not one, we're two. And I'm okay with
Uh,
that. Everybody loves us. Or not.
I love you guys. It's the only
Now-
show I watch.
Now let's jog here for all the viewers because Devin, I feel that you're one of the most polarizing and intriguing characters that Done Deal has amassed post Dino times. If for the historians fact checking out there, you burst onto the scene, and I don't want to allude to a dark cloud. Joan goes down with an injury.
Correct.
That season, you get drafted by Peaky. Peaky doesn't want to be quarterback. Peaky's coming in. He wants to be receiver. He's going to get Devin. He's doing the chestnut checkers, outsmarting everyone. And
Correct.
one of the only players ever to actually get traded, while the week is still ongoing.
Yeah,
He
it
let
was
you
pretty
finish,
quick.
he left you finish playing the games. That's where the whole Peaky, gift comes.
And me like this.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So talk to us. That being your first season,
Mhm.
you never really got to atone for that. You never really got to say your piece. How did that season go for you? How did you feel? Where were you in your headspace? Because outside looking in, you play for squad all these years playing flag football. You come into this league, then you're with Peaky, and you have this opportunity. The team was stacked, and then one bad week, and Peaky pulls a rug up under you.
Yeah. So, I mean, first of all, the start, DD was rough for me, man. It took me 3 seasons to finally get going. It wasn't until the Lions season that I lost to Perra in the championship that I had Mark and Hyman. And then after that, it was just obviously I was a contender. Not saying that I would win, but I was losing in the conference championship or losing the championship. Or obviously last year we finally won one. We'll get to that later.
Wait, we're gonna get to that. Stop.
My bad. I gotta throw it in there as many times.
You're a married man. You know the
know.
importance and the significance of foreplay.
You're absolutely right.
Let's build up the tension.
So that first season, Beaky calls me and drafts me. He calls me and tells me he's going to draft me because there's so much value as a quarterback and this and that. So we run it together and we actually play well. We get through the first week. We go 2-1. Our third best player, which was this guy called James Lima, which never showed up. First game was injured. So it was, and at the time it was 4-4. So it was me, Beaky, and a tier 4 and a 5, right? And we literally carried that to a 5-3 record. We just never had an opportunity with that third person that he never gave it a chance to go. Obviously, Joan, the GOAT of DD and how he does his things. He's so smart, bro. Fucking tears an ACL and it just immediately GM mode. He's one of a kind, I will say. He's the only one that would probably even turn into that, everyone else is.
I'd be in the fetal position.
Correct.
Crying,
I'd be
my life is over.
Correct.
Am I gonna go? What am I gonna do with
Correct.
my life?
Yeah. And he was just nonchalant, all right, am I gonna go with surgery? Let me go fix my Steelers team and see what I could do. And then obviously he trades me to the Steelers for Ernie and I don't know who. and he drops, and I'm able to get Lulu as my number one, which obviously we were like, all right, this is money, pretty decent record or whatever. Then that very next week, I will never forget. My first game was against Peaky, and I wanted to beat him so bad, bro, so bad. And bro, I just what do you call it? Self imploded, and just threw him a pick. And I kept throwing Lulu bad. It was just a shit show, And then at that point, Lulu drops because he had a one of those tournaments with Tronky, and I pick up Georgie, obviously all reliable, and we balled that last week. We balled, and then from there it started trending up. But then again, the very next season, I get drafted by a quarterback. I get drafted by Baca, which another bad situation. Ends up I getting traded, or I'm sorry, Baca ends up getting self traded. I end up with Marshall and Julio, who then Julio trades me to an 0-8 Tampa Bay team.
Yeah.
Oh my God. And it was just that was just like me the first 3 seasons. Like I could never find myself, And then it wasn't until Mark, obviously, is the 16th captain, drafts Jaime first, is able to get me in the second or third round, whatever. And then it's just me, Mark, and Jaime, and obviously we carry that all the way to
That's
the
the
championship.
Tropical Park season. That's
correct.
The season that's on the loop here for the intro where you're holding the
correct.
Yeah.
And then from there, obviously we played probably, I would say, the best DD team as roster wise
ever assembled.
AJ, who'd you have on that team?
Bro, AJ, Flaco, Alex Montano, Ernie,
wow,
and Nick Q.
Wow. Yeah.
Bro.
Yeah, but Perra wasn't his bag that season because I remember when in draft day,
MVP. That guy,
he's like no friends. That guy was like no new friends, no friends whatsoever. He's at the freaking draft in the corner, by himself, like the guy, the man with the plan. That was in that season. So, but you make it to a final.
Yeah, we make it to a final and made some noise. And then I want to say the following season.
You had Lewis, the Seahawks?
No, the following season was the Ravens, that we actually had a really good team. That it was Pat, Pablo. Pat, we ended up getting Georgie.
Brandon. Yeah, but you self-imploded because you did the squad thing. You traded away Pablo. You traded away Pablo for your boys.
You didn't trade Pablo.
You didn't trade Pablo.
I traded Brandon and Kevin.
Brandon and
Kevin.
For Georgie and somebody else.
For Georgie and Albert. But bro, honestly, look, that was our season to win it, bro. That was our season to win it. Like
together. You should. But Kevin most probably maybe would have traded you.
But that season, I'm telling you, that's the season you won.
Yeah.
That season, I'm telling you, like, I have nightmares of that season, bro. I literally that season. I think that was
one of the most competitive seasons, even though Joan was coming back from injury. It was one of the more competitive seasons because you also
100%
with Lulu.
That's what happened to us. Our game that was the game that I lost in the championship. I lost to Tronky.
I think that was arguably maybe one of the best seasons that Peaky had. It was like he was still like in that LeBron phase where your good is not good enough. Who
won MVP that season? Wasn't it Peaky?
No, Peaky. Was it that season? No,
I'm pretty sure Peaky won that season.
Was it
he
that
won
season
MVP.
That you won it?
Yeah, that was that season.
Yeah, he won that. He bottled the chip.
Yeah.
Against awesome. You guys.
Yeah, but Alfarito picks him off because he tries to do that his Peaky thing, the no look throw and.
Yeah, and then our conference championship lasted 3 minutes. It was.
I thought the Gate kept the MVP on Peaky a lot longer than that.
They So it was touchdown like that, and then they scored 4 straight, and we never stopped them. And then they got to you guys, and then it was like that too, touchdown. And then Tronky throws a pick, you guys scored, game over. It was that quick. And then the next season was Lewis, which was for me that was a stat season. Like I was going for the MVP. I knew that we didn't have a good enough team because it was me and Lewis. Because then our back end was like Davila and Jonathan, which was not good. Our number 3 was Alpha, which I love him, squad
No,
guy.
Man,
no
Pero
motor.
he can't,
pobrecito,
bro.
he
He
can't be a number
can't.
3. He can't be a
No,
number
he was
2.
your two because I think you had Enzo as your
Cor-
three, or vice
no.
versa.
Well, Enzo came in. It was Dax. It was everybody. It was like
That's right. That's
that
right.
that tier 3, 4 was rotating. It was Jazz, and then it was Dax, and then it was
Yeah, that's
Enzo,
true. That's true.
and
That's true.
like that we couldn't find anything. And I just, bro, I knew that we didn't have enough. Me and Lewis, like it wasn't enough. So I'm not gonna lie, I was stat padding there, but Montano beat me out for MVP. Um, so like I've been around, you get me? Like I've been around and I love it, bro. I love DD. I told my wife I was gonna retire from DD like 2 seasons ago, and then I came back last year, and then obviously I came back this year, and I'm like, oh, season 20, this is my last one, this is my last one. But this is probably not my last one.
Now, let me ask you, how do you feel? Like, okay, so when you hear that comment, how does it make you feel when someone tells you, oh, it's Devin. You don't know who you're gonna get. It's either the good or the bad, or playoff Devin. He's a regular season quarterback, but he's gonna choke in the playoffs.
Yeah.
Like when you hear those type of comments, how does it make you feel?
I mean, I think it's true. It's true. Like you don't know. I don't know what Devin's gonna show up either. You know what I'm saying? Like I think, like, look, a perfect example was week 2, right? Week 2, I show up and I'm the absolute worst Devin you can think of. We lose to the Lions 4-1. Mind you, we picked off 3 times, and we
Yeah.
still only scored 1 time. I rewatched film. We were at the goal line 8 times, and we didn't score 1 in those 8 times. Now it's a mix of everything. It's bad throws, a bad hike, or obviously a drop ball, miscommunication. But at the end of the day, it falls on me, and I know that's on me. And then the very next game, we played Joan, and that game lasted 5 minutes, and it was 15 for 17, Devin, with 3 touchdowns. Look at Joan scored 4 straight. You know what I'm saying? So I couldn't beat him. So it's I got the best of both worlds there, right? And then the Chargers game started off rough. I threw a pick in the end zone, right? And then we're down 3-1, and then I come and score 3 straight, and we beat them 4-3. So honestly, I don't know. I don't know what it is. It's sometimes I get going.
I'm gonna be completely honest with you. I've seen it. I've seen it when you threw for Nationals,
bro.
If you end up throwing 4-man, if you could have gone there 4-man that day, and we don't have Cheeky throwing, we sweep the weekend.
Agreed.
But then you go to Worlds, and you couldn't hit the Rickenbacker.
Nothing, bro.
You couldn't hit Biscayne Bane off the Rickenbacker.
I couldn't at all. It was like that.
And it was just like, it's one, your lights out.
Listen.
No one can touch you. And then the next one, you're just like, it's like, is this even the same guy? Like, is he here? Like, are there problems at home? Like, what's going on?
I think it's I get in my own head, man. Like, honestly, like,
but I think all the great guys, I think that, and it's sort of, it's just who you are in terms of your makeup. Like, for example, you're an entrepreneur, and that's sort of the reason why you're that successful at the way you are, because you're a head case. And because you're a head case, that's why you push yourself. And it could be to your own demise or to your
correct. No, last week alone for week 2, I probably watched 5-6 hours of film, seeing what they were doing defensively and shit like that. And that's how I prepare myself, just like right now. Right now, I'm on hold waiting for you guys to bring me in. And I'm going through each roster of each team to see if you guys ask me a question of a team, like I know what roster and who's on who and what. You get me? I just like to be prepared. And sometimes I over-prepare, and sometimes it's just like, bro, just go out there and fucking play football.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? And that's what it is.
I will say to this, I think that you're one of the better guys in the league. I think that you're in that top 1%. And not everyone gets that side of you, because and quarterbacks, quarterbacks and being a quarterback in DD is a job within a job, because
it's hard, bro.
Not only do you have to go out and play football and go and lead your team and play the football games, but then you have to stand in the pain in the chat, and you have to stand in the pain in the Instagram, and then you
Yep.
have to stand in the pain with the videos, with the gifs and the memes. And
Yo.
and you know, with the Dolphins, you know, I felt that a lot of what was happening was not my fault. A lot of the things that you know, I was
It's like that.
trying as hard as I can. I was in the dumps. I was
Bro, let me tell you.
second guessing myself, questioning myself. One of the few people that reached out, that called me, and the same exact thing that you prefaced opening up your interview, saying, "Oh, you know, it took me 3 seasons." That was exactly the first thing you told me on the phone. Cause like, Angel, listen,
Dude.
you know, it's admirable what you're doing. You're trying, you know, you're putting yourself out there. But look what I had to go through. I went through this. I went through this. I went through this. You're going through nothing different than anyone else. You're competing against guys who've done this their whole entire life, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. And, you know, not everybody does that. You know, you were a competitor. You were going against me. You could have just kept, you know, knocking down and piling on. But what makes you who you are is it's that, you know, it's that, and you're one of the better guys in the league, and that's, you know, it's one of the your most astounding qualities. So it's, you know,
I appreciate that.
Bringing it full circle.
Yeah.
I'm happy you got the star.
I mean, yeah.
I'm happy you came in, and I'm happy you got the dub.
For
Walk
sure.
us through it. Did you feel like you cheated yourself into it? That you backed up into a star? Do you feel it's a little hollow and like, damn, I kind of just want to do it like by my own accord from week one? Not that
No, I mean, obviously, like, so obviously we all know this, right? There's two things that happen in DD that will hit you on a reality check pretty quickly. Is one is DD's gonna fucking humble you. No, you could be 3-0 week one, and then come in and think you're on the top of the world, and then boom, you don't know what happened. Perfect example.
Which is
Joe
what
Hunt.
I know what I love about Chris Martinez.
Yeah,
That's another one. That's what I love about Chris Martinez. That kid went on week one, 0-3. Everybody dunking on him, dunking on him, dunking on him, dunking on him, dunking on him. You know, and hey, it's part of you know, the playing the position.
Correct.
Back week 2, 3-0.
Yeah.
That's what this is about.
And look what happened with Joe Hunt in that Vikings game, where he throws 5 picks. They lose to a team without Bolte and their tier 2 or whatever. They were 4 hard, whatever it was that it was. Yeah. And that's a good team. Like, Joe Hunt's a top 5 team in my eyes this season.
Yeah.
And he's gonna bounce back. He's gonna come back this week and go 2-1 or 3-0. But DD will humble you. You think you're like, oh, this is an easy game. No, bro, anything can happen. You know? And number 2 is you gotta get lucky, bro. You gotta get lucky, whether it's a replacement, whether it's a schedule, you know, it could anything, you know, anything. You need every little ounce of luck when it comes to DD to win a star. Winning a star is so freaking hard. And to be completely honest, I get a phone call from Kevin first, because Kevin had that shoulder problem, and he's like, I can't throw. I want you to replace me on the Texans. Right, we're talking about last season.
Last season,
right?
Yeah,
last season, right before playoffs. He calls me and he's like, "Hey, I want you to replace me." His team, right? And I'm not gonna name names. You could go back to the roster and you could figure it out. His team did not want to add me. They said that they could get somebody better. They said they could get an athlete. They could let Danny Gonzalez throw and pick up an athlete. But that they didn't want me because I was going to be worse on defense, right? So I was like, all right, cool. That went on for like a week. I get a phone call from the Illuminati, Andy, and he's like, I think I found the loophole.
He's a friend of the show. He's a friend of the show.
Of course. I get a phone call and he's like, I think I found a way you could replace Stritz. I'm like, no way. He's like, yeah. He goes, I have a ranking and you're behind Stritz. And I go, well, that's what supposedly by the DDPA rules works. And obviously, another aspect of it is you got to know DD, you know? DD,
but not in this season. Not in this season. This season, they've made it very clear. They don't care about past rankings. They're going on up evaluations.
Mm-hmm.
Keep on.
I respect that. As long as you're consistent with it, I'm cool with it.
Exactly. That's 100%. And then, which is always what I do week one. Every time I've been involved in the DDPA, like, what are going to be the norms? How do you guys viewpoint? Like, what's your viewpoint on all of this? And then whatever it is, I don't care if it's your friends, my friends, or whatever. We're going to hold this consistently throughout the season.
Yeah, and I'm good with that. I mean, the DDBA is always gonna get shitted on. Everyone's always gonna fucking.
Always.
It doesn't matter what they do. They're just always gonna get shitted on. So just be prepared for that. I did that 1 year, and I said, "Man, nunca, never again." And then so then whatever. I got the phone call from Andy that I think Stritz is gonna drop, and I think I have a ranking that shows that you could replace Stritz, and I'm like, all right, awesome, sounds good. Then I get the phone call from Peaky. Hey, bro, I think this is really gonna happen. And I'm like, no fucking way. And whatever, obviously, it happened. I was on the right side of the Illuminati for once, and it went through. And then, bro, obviously,
But full
First game-
circle, though. Think about it.
first circle
Think
with
about,
Peaky.
think about how
I
I
know.
started. Think about
I
how I
know.
started this interview.
It was crazy.
Think about how I started this interview. So now
Yeah.
here comes the question: how does it feel that Peaky sent you into purgatory, and then now you win one with Peaky?
Essentially, you save him.
Yeah. Which
No. Peaky won't see it like that. We
No, of
all
course not.
know.
Listen,
we all
listen.
know he's not going to see it like that at all. No, okay. Don't even try to interject that.
Yeah, but I mean, I made it hard on the championship game. I'm not even gonna lie to you, but no one remembers
Did
those.
it ever cross your mind like Contra? I'm a botch this here. Am I going to do it, Devin?
Of course. The thing is that the first game, we beat the 49ers 4-1. Not even close. The second game, bro, we get the Texans, which obviously was personal at that point because they shitted on me and they're like, oh, we don't want Devin. We don't want him to play with us. Certain players on that team.
Why would you
And
say
I was,
that, Jordan?
huh?
Why would Jordan say that?
It wasn't Jordan. Remember, Georgie replaced Jordan. So
I'll be your own sometimes.
yeah. So no, Georgie was the first one that wanted me to replace Kevin. But anyways, so I took that game personal. We beat them 4-0 in a matter of 5
He
minutes.
played for nothing.
It wasn't even close. And then the championship came, and then obviously I threw a pick and the whole fucking I'm like, oh shit, here we go. But again, they had a chance. They had a chance to beat us. And we came down 3-2, came back, scored, tied 3-3. We stopped them, and then we scored, and we won. And I don't care what anyone thinks about it, bro. At the end of the day, this season, I pull up with my Saints jersey. I got a star in the back, bro.
That's
so
all that
fuck
matters.
you. Exactly.
That's all that matters.
Fuck
baby.
it.
It's for the star. That's what we're in it for the star.
Hell yeah. And then obviously this season, so I guess we're gonna talk about this season.
No, we're gonna keep on with the show, but I just want to, I feel like you're one of the pillars of the post Dino times, and I feel
Yeah.
you haven't had the platform to give your piece on a lot of things. I feel like you've been in the epicenter of a lot of issues.
Yeah.
that Joan's injury,
Mhm.
involvement with Peaky, your squad affiliation.
Fiasco. Yeah.
Yeah.
You're always trying to trade for your boys.
Yeah.
So those are things that everyone has questions about, and you're just one of the good guys, and
I appreciate that.
and you'd be hard pressed. I think you would be hard pressed to find someone in the league that had something bad to say about you. Because
I appreciate it.
I don't even think you're a bad insurance salesman.
Sometimes.
Yeah. Hey, you wouldn't be living nice. You wouldn't be living nice if
Correct.
you're a bad insurance salesman. So all right, so that's enough of the Della Dimes. We're gonna keep moving on with best performers, and that's and we're gonna keep you on for the rest of the show because I feel that your knowledge, just your preparation, I know that you're ready to go.
We are ready.
You're gonna make up for the fact that I wasn't there week 2. So when I tell you season 20, and we're heading into week 3, this next best performers, I need you to give me 2 guys that jump out.
I mean, it's clear. It's obviously Joan.
Low-hanging fruit. Okay.
He sticks out. The other one obviously has to be Stritz. But I do want to say something. Because as I was looking at the standings, let's talk about the draft, right? I don't think you guys have gotten into the draft a lot.
No.
Let's talk about those 5 captains.
Well,
that
Perra actually has been
I mentioned it briefly just now.
And I'm glad you're picking on that because one of the things that I see, for example, how does David
Mhm.
his best player, and there's no knock on Brian, but how is his best player Brian, which will
Yeah.
never get picked top 10 in any
Correct.
ED draft?
Mhm.
I
Well,
don't care how fast he is, how versatile he is, he's not getting picked top 10. How does David get it? Brian as his best player
well,
Yeah.
I will say
and
this.
Trujillo as his worst player?
So to that point, I would just say David screwed himself with the trades that he made because he traded out of the first round to have 2 second-round picks. But granted, he doesn't have a lot of leverage to get rid of that last pick in the draft. But it, I just don't really know what he was thinking by making that trade.
I definitely think that it was super unfair. It was
I mean,
super unfair,
it's
and the standings show it. I mean, Chris is in last.
look,
David's in
Chris
second to
last.
last.
Chris,
Uh,
Al, and David are last place, the last three, the bottom three in that other conference, and in our conference. Nico, whether it was because he's missing a week or not, he's in seventh, and then Beaky,
he only won over
yeah,
500.
Beaky's but guess what? He stayed with his picks.
Yeah, yeah.
At the end of the day, we all have said it. Hey, he reached for every single player that he drafted, but he stayed with his picks, so he was still able to get
But if
caliber.
Hickey's in the South, he'd be the 6th seed.
Yeah, correct.
Not the 2nd seed.
Yeah, thank God I'm in the shit conference. First time ever. I'm out.
I mean,
I'm
we'll see. We have to wait to see how it finishes, right? How it plays out in its entirety. But I think that obviously right now, 2 weeks into the season, you can say the experiment or whatever, the exercise didn't work out, or
correct.
It's screwing those guys,
Correct. Yeah. I mean, because you could look at Stritz. Stritz is flourishing. He's in 5-1, and then you look at you're 0-6.
How much is his Stritz? And I'm just playing devil's advocate here, because I want the lower tier quarterbacks to always overperform.
Mm-hmm.
How much is Stritz? How much is it Kregel?
Well, it has to be.
There's no Kregel this weekend.
Oh, wow.
Boom! DD live.
Wow.
Boom! Yeah, hey, look, I'm plugged up.
Is that an angel bomb?
Plugged up. Dance recital. How you like them apples?
Wow, that's big.
Well, look, that's humongous.
That's his big test.
Yeah.
Ken Stritz. I think Daleks is a gangster.
Mm-hmm.
I think he's a certified gangster, and Mikey's under the radar. You see him playing everywhere else, and you're like, wow, he's nasty. But then you just look at the DD draft, and then you just fall in love with all the other guys that you've seen playing more before and in this setting. But that's a very, 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 very good team.
Yeah.
But this is
but look,
there's no Kregel.
I also thought the Cowboys was a good team, from 1 through 6.
Me too.
On paper.
Yeah.
But Dario didn't take
Alvarez, your worst player, and you got the PCP baby. Come on, man.
Yeah. The MVP, ¿cómo se llama?
The MVP maker.
The MVP maker. I mean, he fucked himself on this last trade.
No, you know what? Before you got on this, I said like AJ was better suited going to Weekend Warriors with me. He would have done more up there than he did down here.
Yeah. But I will say that there's some people that have taken advantage of it. But we all, at the end of the day, we've seen that it has hurt the 5 better quarterbacks. And people like Joan or even maybe Ant that should have been in that rotation of the better 5, let's say, are obviously flourishing, and they have a better team. I mean, obviously, Joan.
I think if you were going to do that, in my opinion, you should have maybe just done it full on, half the league yes, half the league no. To kind of single those guys out, it's kind of like, it's not that it's ugly, but it's not aesthetically pleasing. Like, because now you have just like a weird subset of teams that just don't look good at all.
Yeah, it's made it harder to trade too, because it's like on a team like you, for example.
Why would I trade?
Why would you trade? You're better than everyone in every single tier.
Yeah.
It just makes no sense. But hey, I'm I'm glad that Didi tried it, bro. And they're always trying new things. I'm cool with it, you know.
Hey,
But
you and I are benefiting. So hey,
oh hell yeah, I'm not complaining at all.
I, even though my record doesn't show it, but on paper,
Paper nasty, nasty paper champs.
So we talked about Stritz. We talked about the low-hanging fruit in John, which we'll get to.
Yeah.
But give me non-quarterback. Give me a
Okay.
player that has really come on, burst onto the scene, and he's going to make an impact week 3, and we feel like he's going to be the catalyst of his team going forward.
I wouldn't say he's gonna be the catalyst just because I mean I think top to bottom the team is stacked. But I mean he showed it week 1. Eddie Lavo was a stud.
Yep.
Bro.
Yeah.
A stud.
Man, if that kid
Yeah.
could learn how to break down, if he could learn to break down, like my G, I promise you, I promise you, you run hella hard, just cut it 20% and just abruptly stop 2 yards before the quarterback and just shoot your arms up. I swear to God, you'll be so much better. That kid, it's either sack or he's missing the flag. He's getting a lot of sacks, but I feel that if he once that kid like learns the containment portion of the rush, he's going to be one of the top 5 rushers in DD.
Yep.
And
Yeah,
now, like I feel that when I see him on the deeper routes, when John sent him like on a deep dig or something a lot deeper, I feel like he tries to catch the ball with his chest, and I really wouldn't trust him with a deeper ball. But you catch that kid on a China, on an out, on the flanks, on a very touch pass, and you put him in open space against the guys that have to cover him.
Yeah.
There's too much speed.
Yep.
There's too much speed there. I think he's one of the quality picks. It's I feel that every captain 4 picks above him, 4 picks after him in that area. Everyone failed there in assessing talent.
Someone that has been going under the radar and I think has had a pretty good season. And obviously he's always going to go under the radar because he's on the team that doesn't think, because they have one person that does think. I think you guys know who I'm talking about. Is Philip, right? So Philip as a number 2, obviously as a tier 1, right, has had to step up. And if you look at his numbers, man,
he's not loud. He's not loud.
He's
Same where Ray met, and he was having an amazing season where Ray met last season before he got smacked in the face. He had to go to the hospital, but the guy was having an impeccable season.
Yep.
It's just that we fall in love with the guys that we could hear screaming, making a play, doing the celly, doing the dance. But Philip is just a guy that does everything exceptionally well.
Mm-hmm.
And I feel, that's why I understood what Beaky was doing with that team. He didn't pick gangsters. He picked gangsters. If you understand what I'm saying, like,
of course,
go for guys that are number 1 at every position. Like, they're not going to make your top 5 in anything. But as a team, you got a team full of dogs, and it just plays his mentality and like the way that he coaches people up and the way that that Peaky talks down to guys. Like, these guys, they don't take it, like they're
responding to it.
They're comfortable in their own skin, as where Peaky could belittle them, and they're like, "All right, bet, I got you." We're like,
exactly.
All right, bet. They're not players you coddle. And we have a lot of players in DD that need to be coddled.
Yeah.
Bengal players are not players that you coddle. And then see why. And
they come straight from 11.
They come
from 11 ready to ball.
That's exactly right. That's exactly right. All right, gentlemen. So that's in terms of players. But now when we look in terms of teams, what's our best and what's our worst?
I mean, you're going to sit that one out? So, obviously, I'm super curious to see what happens with Nico. I mean, obviously, we all know that Nico can score with anybody. But I'm curious to see what he's going to do with Peter. Obviously, I don't know if that team got better or not. I mean, adding another tier 6, and that's what he wanted to do. But this is that, like, I feel like this is that make it or break it for Nico this week. He's got a really hard schedule, and they got to figure this out on the fly with Peter, which that's why I'm actually super happy I played them game 1, because I'm like, all right, they have no time to figure it out. Like, hopefully, I score 4 straight and they don't even know what hit them. But
For those at home, the Eagles play the Saints at 8 in the morning. And then after that,
The Chiefs at 9:30 and the Ravens at 11.
Yep. So,
a subida para el café a serie. Wow.
yep.
And
So-
they play everybody at full strength.
Yep. So that team can be 2-7 after this week. You know, or obviously they could be 5-4. You know, so I think the team to watch, I would say, the biggest team to watch is going to be the Eagles, because this is their make it or break it. I feel like, you know,
What do you make of the Lions?
oh, they beat my ass, so but it's
Which is my question. You had an amazing week 1.
yeah.
And then week 2, you lose 4-1. You lose 4-1 to the Lions. Like, what happened there?
No. We
Because
got
you ask
Gerson.
anyone, and then the Lions are just unimpressionable. Like, it's just like
They're not.
a lot
I know.
of men. It's try hard and a lot of men.
But that's the thing. It's try hard Ant with try hard Andy with super try hard Joel. With super try hard Gerson. You get what I'm saying? So it's like, guys, it's DD vets. They're all DD vets, right? They don't have one rookie. You know, Mali defends himself as a tier 6. I mean, Mali's a star winner, bro.
This Mali's a show favorite here.
I agree with you. Mali has won a star and can defend his own as a tier 6 as a rusher. He rushes me, and then Boo is a big body tier 5. They're just a scrappy team. That's just there's always that one team in the season.
They fit the mold.
Correct, and that's that scrappy team that you don't want to play, because they could beat you 4-1, but they could also lose to you 4-1.
Yeah, they're the type of teams where a tip ball, they're gonna come up with it.
Correct. They're that scrappy team, bro. And I think they're the second best team in that conference.
What do we make of the Niners?
I think that's a shit show.
There's a lot of talking there, man. There's a lot of talking there.
Who's talking more, Montano or Ace?
I think it's
Ace is irrelevant, bro.
Bro, but I think it's for them. He's like their spokesman.
Yeah, because he sponsored them.
Listen, this is Derek's first season back from being injured, right?
But he played in the tournament. He played very good in the tournament.
Yeah, but a tournament's not a season, and it's his first season back, right? And when you hit adversity, right, as you come back from injury, you want your guys to be like, hey, we got this. Don't worry about it. We're going to get through this.
That's not Montano. He's thinking
that's
about
not Montano. That's not Montano. That's not Elvis. That's not Juan Lasso. That's not his team, to be honest. So he's like struggling, and you could tell he's struggling. He's not the Derek of old, right? And he's not getting any help from anyone. They're not talking him up. They're not like, hey, we got you. We're going to get you this stop.
He hurt his shoulder. It's not his legs. And then what Derek's always been good is being able to buy time and be versatile and be mobile.
Yeah, but he could before he would be able to roll out right and throw it on a dot to the left corner. I ref him. I don't think he can do that.
I don't think he can do it either.
And to Devin's point,
that's gone.
I mean, it's not fully gone, right?
He's got to find it back.
Yeah, and it's to Devin's point. I just, that's why I think what we meant by a lot of talking. There's a lot of talking, not in a negative way, just not in like the true reinforcement. Like, yo, these are my guys. Like, they got me. Like. Mm-hmm. So it's
and you don't want to feel that as
weird.
A quarterback.
It's a weird dynamic. Almost,
Montano's hard to play with in DD.
I mean, there's a reason why he gets ranked, and I love Montano as a person. Don't get me wrong. But there's a reason why they always rank him 2-3, and he always dropped to 10, 11, 12. There's a reason for that.
He forces the catches to him. If he doesn't get it, he checks out.
He checks out defensively a lot if he doesn't get the ball. And I think people notice, and that's why he drops. Yeah, he's still a great player.
But I think he's closer to a tier 2 than a tier 1.
Correct. I think so too. I think
I would say what I would say in terms of just adding to like the teams, I want to really see like what the Giants are gonna do. Like, it's because that's a very Chris D team. Like, dogs, this, that, whatever.
Week 1, they were short.
But then week 2, again, Devin Mookie got there after game 2, or was
after game 1.
after game 1. But just like I don't know, the vibe's not there. Like, man, I love Ray.
They were arguing. They were
Ray
arguing the whole
looked
time.
like,
He was
man,
miserable. Yeah,
he was like he was in pain. Like, I've never seen Ray about to like almost like tear up, and the dude just was not saying a single word. He was just sitting down. So
Let me ask you. I proposed this trade to Jordan and Chris D, and I thought it makes perfect sense for both teams. You for Ray.
me for Ray,
Yeah. I think you go to that team, and now you're throwing to Mookie, you're throwing to Jordan, you're throwing to Chris D, right? Ryan Pass,
pause. Okay, yeah,
and Chris
CP.
and CP, and then Ray comes to the Jets where Petey throws.
Petey
You know?
throws.
And now, like, I think both teams get better there. I think that's a good trade, but I don't know. What do you think about that trade?
That's exactly where my value is at. I'm definitely a tier 6.
Yeah.
I just don't know if Petey wants to throw. Like, we really haven't talked about that.
Yeah.
And I would imagine, I'm obviously not speaking for Petey, but I would imagine if that were the case, he probably would have preferred to keep Mark, who he has chemistry with.
That makes sense.
Yeah. But I mean, obviously, him and I have been talking about trades, and he never wants to say, "Hey, man, if you got something for you or anything like that, let me know," and vice versa. Like, he's never told me, "Yo, we're shopping you." So I don't know. I've obviously entertained the idea because, shoot, I think in that scenario, that both teams
Throwing to
would get better.
That's one of those trades that both teams get better. Honestly, I would love to see you throw to those guys. I think.
But then again, I don't think Chris is fully healthy though. That's why he hasn't really I don't think put himself out there like that, because I think he's hurt, or I mean, whatever it happens, he just had a baby, But he's not moving, like even last season, Chris.
Yeah. That baby made you not sleep, man.
That baby weight. That baby weight serious.
That baby.
But yeah, man. I mean, I want to see what the Giants do. Like,
I like that too.
Much like Devin said, I feel like this is kind of like not the make or break, but this is truly the first week where you're gonna be like, all right, this team is legit. This seems like
correct.
Because a lot of teams are finally, hopefully, if no one's late or nothing, knock on wood, nothing happens from here to Saturday, everyone is able to get there on time and teams are full, ready to go. And we'll really be able to see, hopefully, what each team can potentially do. But, obviously you have, I would say, the only true team that has separated themselves is the Chiefs, because I don't think any of us here are like a true believer in Stritz and what he can do. Correct. So I don't think they've separated, themselves yet. So I mean, we'll see. I mean, shoot, I'm 0-6, so I can only go up. Hopefully.
Yep.
Last team we talk about, Chargers. Week 1, 3-0.
Wow.
They were on this euphoric high. And then everyone's preaching caution. Vinny didn't do much. It was a pick 6 in one game. It was this in that game. It was this in the other game. Week 2 comes. 0-3.
Now, granted, they were missing a player.
Who are they closer to, week 1 or week 2?
I mean, I've been adamant that they're not that good.
I think they got better on the trade, though.
But again, Lewis is missing week 4.
Oh, yeah, that's right. Yeah, that's not good. I forgot about that.
So yeah, I think right now, week 3, they should be a problem. But now it's like, all right, Vinny, it's all on you, Papo. No one's gonna get a handoff from you. Because I mean, could he give a handoff to Georgie? Of course he can. But why would you?
I've seen Vinny throw in Top Gun and be beating Hoosh and Mark and all these guys. And then he comes to DD and it's like he struggles.
I can show you tape me hitting Trick and DK and all these guys and bombas. So, it's different, man. It's
It
hard.
is.
It's hard. It's hard to play with when like the skill
It's
set is
You're right. It took. I'm telling you, it took me 3 seasons, bro, to figure this out. And even still, you look at my team, and I'm top heavy always. Like I'm always throwing my two best guys. I have to continue to remind myself to DD to DD to DD. Like obviously, Nico knows how to DD. Perra knows how to DD. He hasn't been playing well the last 2 seasons, but
Oh,
you what? You know it's true. I mean, it is what it is. You haven't been playing well, but you know how to DD. You know the matchups. You know who you. Oh yeah, I gotta go here. This guy because that's who the mismatch is. I don't think Vinny knows that yet. I think Vinny's like, all right, I'm gonna run my playbook. I'm gonna give a handoff. I'm gonna run around. I'm gonna do this. I'm gonna do that, and he's not really making adjustments. You have to make adjustments. So let's see. I'm curious, but I think they're a middle of the pack team. I think that they are. That's a team that they are what their record is. I think they finish 8-8 or 9-7, best case scenario, maybe 6-9,
yeah,
7-9. Por ahí. I think that's what they're gonna finish.
How many losses do we think the Chiefs are going to get? This week they play the Eagles, they play the Seahawks with no Craigo, and they play the new look Jets.
So you gotta think that
They drop one somewhere.
they drop one somewhere, but
Or it'd be a tie. 'Cause we could have like a soccer invincibles type thing. Where
I
like
mean,
you go
they could have a
undefeated with
Corona
these
game.
wins and
They
ties.
can have
Correct.
a Corona rule game. So if I was a betting man right now, I'd say the line has to be 2.5. Because I think
Oof.
1.5 is too low. Like that's almost not a giveaway, but that's a hard line.
That's
Like
unanimous MVP.
that's the
That's
all right.
unanimous- that's
I'm staying
unanimous.
away from that one. I'm not
And
adding
we
that one.
and we inaugurate GM of the Year award and everything, and he wins that too. Like he
Yeah.
tips.
But I would say the line has to be 2.5. And as of right now,
That's
I would
take-
incredible.
I would
That's
take the
incredible. That's
under.
incredible how he traded
I
up
would
Turi and his worst player is Eddie Leva. So he gets like arguably the best.
no alabao, lads.
Yeah, Alaba. Yeah, I know.
But even still, that's not bad.
yeah, even then it's still like amazing.
Yeah.
He gets the
Um,
steal the draft in Leva. He
Gun
gets
to my head. I
arguably
think
the best of the last tier, and he gets Turi.
I definitely take the under 2.5.
Yeah.
like,
I think
just
I think
off
they
the
go.
top of my head, he still has to play Peaky. He has to play the Redskins. He has to play
Did he play
the
play
Lions.
Ant? Yeah.
No,
Okay.
he has to play the Lions.
Okay.
And we still don't know necessarily what the
Yeah, but
Vikings
even-
are
but
going to
even
look like.
then- but even then, if he wins the toss,
Agreed,
That's-
granted.
that's
but,
my thing.
But this is where the Joan kind of effect comes into. He's going to trade Kevin.
no,
For
no,
He's not going to. He's not
Kevin's
going to.
missing the playoffs.
Okay.
Kevin's missing the
I
playoffs.
understand, and he don't
Kevin,
think he
that's
knows
the
that's-
mira. Esa la que tiene la manguita.
No, everybody knows
It's
that, but
like
he's gonna end up
he's
trading
two
him for
steps ahead
another.
of him.
He's
two
gonna end
steps
up
ahead
trading
of
that for a tier 1.
I think he could get a really good player for Kevin, and I think that's what he's waiting for.
And as much as I think we all do like Enzo. Enzo does sometimes get the dropsies.
Yeah,
And
I've
maybe
experienced him.
Yeah, the Bengals.
maybe he relies on Enzo on a big play because, for example, he's playing Ant and the Lions, and Ant, I would say, besides Al, is probably the best defender to go against Lewis. Now you have to put the game on somebody else's hand. It's tough. So I would say the line is at 2.5. If I had to bet, I would take the under, but I can very easily see them going 13-3.
I could see that.
Is that more
Yeah.
impressive than an undefeated in Dino times?
100%.
I mean, bro, there's no comparison.
All the pressure on Joel, just the way he likes it. Now, rumor mill. Do we have any rumblings? Do you guys know of anything that's ongoing? What do you guys foresee? Who's on the verge of being sold? Like this is like, hey, listen, this is like your last week. After here, it's fire sale.
The Giants are definitely in that discussion.
Definitely. Yeah, I agree there. I'll say that it's been quiet in the chat, man. Like the captain's
Yeah.
chat. Like, and again, I think it's because the way that the draft was set up, it's very hard to trade
Yeah.
where each team thinks they're getting better. You know, like
Unless you're trading
and
with Dario.
Jesus Christ. That guy is awesome. Anyways, so it's been quiet, man. Like very quiet.
It's
Like
tough. It's just the teams don't match up,
Yeah, no,
right?
no, no.
The
It's
the
like if trading regularly is like trading like in fantasy football where everyone wants to win and nobody wants to lose, and like
correct.
you're trading for like potential and you're trading on potential, so it's everyone
Mhm.
has a different metric. I could see why with this skewed setup, it's kind of curtailed for those
like
quarterbacks that fell into that middle ground to be protected and have all the
I would tell you this. I think a sleeper for me, not necessarily a sleeper, but just kind of like not because I think they're gonna be better, but I would keep an eye out on the Chargers
Yeah.
because the Chargers go 0-3, and Kevin has an infamous interview where he's a very good quarterback, and if he goes 0-3, what's to say he says, you know what, he can convince maybe, I don't know, Chris Campos to just trade everybody away and him throw.
Yep.
That can open, not necessarily that's going to open the floodgates, but that could obviously,
yes,
you're going to have a lot of value there.
So something has to give. Somebody has to do something in order for everything else to be able to
I would say Vinny right now has to be the highest probability, has to have the highest probability of a captain to be traded.
Okay. I always think it's David. David always finds himself in a
But
situation.
man, it's just, what are you gonna do with that team?
I know that team is.
It's just, that's the thing. Like we talked.
Yeah, you train Brian and Trujillo to like get a worse pick than Brian, and then to slightly.
But the thing is, you're gonna have to get a lot worse than Brian, because Brian is good, but like, I mean, right now,
then
obviously,
your best player is gonna be Clint.
Yeah. And how much better are you really getting from Tony?
Yeah, he's in a rough spot, man. But he'll find a way. He'll find a way.
He's David.
out.
We've definitely already learned you can't count that guy out.
Nope. No, sir.
If anything, he'll ruin somebody's season.
Yeah.
He's good for that.
Yeah.
All right.
Are you speaking from past experiences or?
No.
Oh, okay.
At all. That wasn't a knock on David. I said,
And then
shoot playoffs for people.
We gotta wait and see. Obviously, we obviously, like we said earlier in the show, we don't want to see anything bad happen to any of us, but we got to see what happens with both teams. And see what that potential replacement, what it can look like.
The player already paid and has been approved by the DDPA.
So you started the show by saying, "Oh my God, is he really hurt? Is he gonna drop?" And now you're dropping this. Wow. Okay.
Wow. Are you gonna let it loose?
If that's the case, then I kind of have an idea of who it could be already.
I hope nothing has changed from the last time I talked to my sauces. But it's gonna be Danny that's gonna come in for Pulte.
What,
Dominguez?
No. Tell you right now.
Whoa.
Danny, I think take Danny, no?
Wow.
That's a good replacement.
That's a good replacement. Wow.
I believe
that's from left field too.
Yeah, I believe that's who they got.
Who in that team has ties to Danny? Oh, Peanut, AirTech.
Mm-hmm.
That makes sense.
Mm-hmm.
I had spoken to Jason. I thought Eddie would. I thought Eddie would be a good.
Hey, you know what? That's another exclusive. Boom for DD right there.
Yo, you dropping heat today, bro?
Bobby, I came in with the fire.
So you're gonna have to tell Lazo to release tomorrow morning.
I came with the fuego. I'm ready for this.
Awesome.
All right, so gentlemen, that's the rumors of the bombs. That's Devin.
Would you have approved Eddie Franca for Pulte?
For who?
Pulte?
No. I would.
Vaca?
No. Wait. Let's go one at a time. I would relish the moment to dunk on Eddie. For the amount of trash and petty crap that man talks underneath his breath. But he's a way better football player than Pulte on both sides of the field. Like he
hasn't been a good DD. player. I think he's sniffed playoffs.
That's irrelevant. That means he's a bad GM and then sucks at decision making. But as a football player, you have to analyze him, and he's a better football player than Boldy
Yeah.
Both he's your MVP though.
last season.
Okay.
But
I gotta play devil's advocate. Somebody has to do it.
You pick Eddie over Boldy 10 out of 10 times,
Yes. 11 out of 10 times.
especially at the quarterback position.
Yes.
I don't care what smug face you have. Like, he's better. It is
Okay.
what it is.
No, I actually think that Danny replacement is really good.
Yeah. Was
Makes
not.
sense.
Yeah, that's a good one.
Completely out of left
And
field.
Baca, again, superior, right? Like on both sides of the ball.
Yep.
Like that's a no as well from me either.
Yeah.
Better defensive player. If anything for DD, I'd take Baca over Eddie.
Yeah, probably.
I think
Well,
he's shown
one-
a little bit better track record.
One's made to a chip and one's never made even close to a chip in DD.
Makes sense. And one's an MVP too. That same person's an MVP.
One was picked by this show to be an MVP, one wasn't.
All right.
That's what it is.
We move.
We move. Games of the week, gentlemen. First
same-
one, 8 de la mañana.
It's the same 4 teams, 4
Eagles,
different
Saints.
times.
Eagles Saints.
All right. I'll take this first because I'm not biased at all on this game.
Wow, can we pick our own teams of the game? Like teams of the games of the week? This is kind of whack.
It's the same 4
It's
teams.
the same
bro.
4 teams.
Yeah, over and over again.
Well, we'll pick these 4 because what's on the page.
We'll skip the Seahawks games because now that we know they're missing Craigo, I don't think that's no longer a game of the week worthy.
I like that. I'll start looking at week 3 while we talk.
Eagles
So
Saints.
I think I'm very lucky to get them, without a practicing, without, them getting some type of chemistry together. Peter runs a weird defense. So to get those guys on board and to have to play together, I would say, I think, we beat them 4-3. Obviously, Nico's tough to stop, so I'm going to say 4-3.
I got Eagles 4-3. I think
I got Saints
it's
4-3.
Nico's birthday this week.
That don't
He's
mean
coming
anything.
out guns blazing.
That don't mean anything.
It means
Fuck that
everything.
guy.
It means everything. 4-3.
No, I just think it's.
I
think
have
it's
it in
what
my
Devin
algorithm.
said.
I have it in my algorithm.
I think it's what Devin said. It's good that first game with them is gonna be weird because
Mhm.
Peters. I think at this point in DD, his biggest attribute is the handoff game, and we all know Nico's not handing off the ball.
At all.
At all.
So it'll be intriguing to watch. But I got Saints 4-3.
All
I
right.
like it.
Next game, Eagles Chiefs.
So I'm going to say whoever gets the ball first.
Damn, we
wins.
got beat to it. Sorry, guys, you got beat to it. Just got
Oh,
announced.
What got
Oh,
announced?
yeah?
Danny for Poti.
Damn, it's like I know something.
It's everywhere.
I'm connected, brother. It's not that I'm omnipresent, but odds are, whoever you talk to likes me better than you. He's gonna come tell me.
I'm actually going to take Nico. I think game 2, they figure it out. They get ball first. And
So
they score
Joan
4
bugged his house. Joan bugged his house because he heard that I had the upper hand on the news, and they had to release that.
Of
Before
course.
we even stopped recording. He got remodeled my house, and he has bugs all over here.
Put it past them.
So you're going Nico?
I'm going to take Nico. Eagles win 4-3 in a 5-minute game.
Oh wow! No, I'm going 4-3 Chiefs. Perra.
I'm gonna go Chiefs 4-3.
Okay.
And I think I found the next game that we should talk about.
You know what?
You wanna go-
I
found one too.
I have one that I'm looking at the screen that jumps out at me, but you go with yours. I'll leave that for last.
I don't know. I like the 10-15 Lions versus Raiders.
Okay, I like Lions Redskins at 8:45.
That's the one I was looking at.
That's a good one.
exactly the one I was looking at. Chris
Okay,
Martinez.
no,
versus-
let's do that game. Let's do that game. I like that
We'll
game.
do both.
No,
All right.
Okay, yeah, let's go. Lions, Redskins.
All right.
8:45.
Give
I
me.
give me Redskins. Give me
Ooh.
Redskins in a dogfight.
Oh,
Redskins, and I'm even going to call them the Commanders because even the tribes of Indians right now are saying that they shouldn't even be called the Commanders. These are the Redskins. I'm gonna go 4-3 Redskins.
I
I'm gonna
don't
go
think.
Lions. I'm gonna go Lions 3-1.
Wow. Okay, I'm gonna take the Redskins in an ugly 2-1 win.
Man, you guys
Redskins.
feel like the unders here. Like maybe I want to like adapt to like a 3-2, like a little 3-2.
3-2
got-
looks.
A little 3-2 Redskins. A little 3-2 Redskins. A little
It's
I like
it's
that.
it's an ugly game. It's an ugly
yeah,
game
but
for sure.
Ane de madre city. And they all play together. They all play together, so they know each other. So there's gonna be that familiarity. They're gonna know their weaknesses. Yeah, you know what? Let me get a little 3-2 Redskins.
I like that. I
I
like
got
that.
three. I got 3-1 Lions.
All right.
And last game,
10-15.
10-15 Raiders, Lions, 4-3 Raiders, man. I got 2
Who
touchdowns.
you
I got-
rushing at?
I got 2 touchdowns. I'm going Marley. I'm sending Marley straight at Ant.
Okay. Then I'm gonna take Raiders 4-2.
I'm sending Marley straight at Ant. I'm gonna cut the short stuff.
I love it.
That's what's gonna be. Al in the backs, por si acaso, por la moca, and big bruising people on the other side. Trust.
If you do that, then I'll take the Raiders 4-2.
You see, I actually don't like that. If you're gonna rush somebody, I prefer you rush out, not Marley.
No. I'd rather rush. I'd
If
rather
if you rush Marley, I'm taking Lions 3-2.
3-2. Damn, Al, don't listen to this guy. Don't listen to this guy. Please don't listen to.
I would be a better rusher in this
Yeah.
situation, if we're being honest. Now that Pedro said it, I'm like, fuck yeah, that makes sense.
What? Well, it depends how Ant's been playing. How's Ant been playing? He's been giving the handoff and doing the whole thing right back to him.
A little bit. He's done. It's all fake handoff. He'll give a handoff to
Yeah.
Andy.
Because Andy can
who's-
throw as well.
Correct.
Yeah, but the thing for me is just like Al's makeup to cover up in the back.
Yeah, I was just
like
so
like
annoying,
he,
ugly.
I hate
yeah,
him.
man.
I
Like he
hate
makes up because remember, it's gonna be me, Vic, and Adrian at best covering. So you're gonna have to need that elite defender in the back. That's why I say Al and Marley goes to shut down that. Or it might be Al and Marley in the back. Or Vic in the back. Who knows?
No, you're getting too cute. I like Al or you to rush over Marty.
Are you guys gonna go back to a little bit of Peter throwing?
Do I tell you guys? I can't tell you guys a secret.
Well, bro, you've been dropping heat all day.
Yeah,
so I was-
okay. So I made executive decisions. I made a couple phone calls within the Raiders camp. I called Al Davis. I had his blessing. I prayed to him. And he infused knowledge onto me. And that's what we're going with, man. Peter Velez, QB1.
I love it. Bro.
There's no
that gives you a whole different dynamic.
There's no all-time
Does.
Q. At the end of the day, I feel that the best version of Al is that Chris J.
Handoff guy.
Al,
Yes.
that Chris J. Al. And I feel that once we get that first down, I can be that handoff for Pete. And then it's Marley, Al, and Vic on routes. And I can be the handoff guy. And
It's better.
I
like it.
I feel that that's our strength. I feel that you're going to see a different Raiders team week 3, which leads me to my bold prediction. I'm going to run it back. Raiders going to go 3-0. It's my bold prediction.
Okay.
Me no likey.
I'm going 3.
That's rough. That's a very bold. Well, you have the San Fran. I could see you winning that game. You have the Giants.
Giants, San Fran.
Ooh, rough. If the Giants go 0-2 at that point, wow.
I'm telling you, I'm going to
bro,
that's
that could
really
be.
interesting.
You could get an imploded Giants team that lost to
It's
Pete
gonna
and
be the
Chris
best version
Martinez.
of me. It's gonna be the best version of me.
I respect it. Perra, are you gonna win a game? Is that your bold prediction?
Yeah, bro. Why you have to do me like that? Nah. I think I should be able to go a solid 2-1.
Okay, give me that dub against the Chiefs.
2-1. I'm in the playoffs, baby.
My bold prediction is the Chiefs lose a game this week.
To who?
I mean, bro. Come on, bro.
Just few mistakes.
It could be the Eagles. It could be the Eagles. It could be I mean, it could be if you give me.
Or hey, listen, or John could have a Tyreek Hill situation where he just gets pulled over on the way to the game, gets arrested, doesn't even make it. She's going 3. You know, like, hey, you never know, man. Stuff happens.
It could be if Nico gets ball first, I could see the Eagles winning.
Yeah.
I could see what happened to us, which is we overlooked the Lions for that Chiefs game, and the Lions beat our ass. I could see the Chiefs overlooking the Jets, looking at that Nico game, and they could lose to the Jets and be like, the Jets are 0-6. We're gonna beat them early in the morning, no heat. And Pereira comes out on fire. I could see the Jets could catch a dub. You know, there's options here.
Okay.
So that's my bold prediction. Chiefs lose a game.
Oh, gentlemen.
I think bold will be if you say they lose 2.
But we're talking about them losing 2 in the whole season.
Yeah,
What are you talking
you're
about?
going back and forth here.
I'm gonna say bold prediction. Bold prediction for me is I got the Seahawks going 0-3
Ooh,
without
okay.
Greg.
I gotta watch some
Yo,
film.
hold up.
Does he really give that many handoffs to Craig?
No, but man, Craig was a big piece. Dallas is not the most vocal person, you know. So
True.
and you're losing. I haven't seen the play, so I have no idea. I might be talking completely out of my ass, but I would imagine Craig was probably plugging that middle.
No, yeah, and now
being very vocal.
And now Stritz has to play defense full time.
Yep.
Oof, I like that. You were spot on your bold prediction. You went 3-0 Redskins.
Yeah,
I remember that.
let's see.
All right, gentlemen.
All right.
We appreciate you, Devin, for coming on to the show, staying on to the end, and helping us get through this episode. Long overdue. We are happy that you're able to get not only your flowers but your opportunity to say your piece. Give us some insight on your DD career. It's been a fun episode. Hopefully, Pedro gets his dub, and I have a lot of work to do with the Raiders.
Listen, never count out, bro. Have your faith in out.
That's my crackhead.
That guy finds a way, bro.
Always does.
Finds a way.
Love
He
that.
does.
If we say we're betting men, huh? I gamble
we
on that
are.
guy every single time.
Yes, sir.
All right, gentlemen, we appreciate you for your time. We thank everyone who's tuned in and watched the show. As always, this show is brought to you by NAS, the greatest flag football franchise currently and dominating all of South Florida. I'd like to thank you and wish you all the best of luck. Have an amazing weekend. Have an amazing week. And as always, DD is life. Peace.
Sir.
Peace.
Oh yeah! Yes! He's trying me! How you trying me? That's a touchdown. Ooh!